Which rookie are you most excited to watch this season? Who's that guy you're like, dude, if this guy could just help this team, it'll be all right.
That's kind of tough because it's hard not to say Romeo Dobbs right now just because of what
Yeah.
he's been doing. But um, I'll go with a couple other guys. First of all, we don't talk enough about Quay Walker at all. He was the first guy we picked out of this entire class. He's the only guy that's been, running with the one since day one. He's been dominant since day one. Aaron Rodgers singled the guy out as the one guy that stands out on the defense. So I'm excited to watch him in action because I think I don't think we understand. We're so caught up in Christian Watson, Romeo Dobbs, and whoever else. I think we're completely overlooking a potential. I mean, I don't want to just throw around words here, but I mean, if there's anybody that's that's kind of putting out signals of being a superstar, I would say more so than Romeo Dobbs is Quay Walker. But the one guy that I loved prior to the draft, that I was a huge fan of, that I was told we'd never draft because he's too old and the Packers just won't do it and all that stuff. But I just said if we could get him, this guy's going to be a stud, and that's Devontae Wyatt. I'm so excited, and kind of like the way you phrased it. If this guy can be good, it's going to change everything. If Devontae Wyatt can freaking ball out as a defensive tackle with Kenny Clark, and hearing how good Jaron Reed is doing in training camp right now, and Dean Lowry has always been underrated with Rashawn Gary there, and then you got Quay and Devondre. The whole defense as a whole gets me excited, but just that little extra bit of having this freakish human, which way under the radar. Another thing we're not talking about, Devontae Wyatt is one of the freakiest defensive tackles to ever enter the NFL. I was talking to a guy a little while ago, but my favorite story about Devontae Wyatt, somebody asked him, when did you realize you were super fast or whatever? And he was kind of like, well, when we were training for the combine, I guess I figured it out because they told me I couldn't be with the defensive tackles anymore. I had to go be with the linebackers. I mean, it's just stupid. I mean, it's one of those guys where it's kind of like Rashawn, actually, where he's superhuman. Like they just don't build people like this. He should not be able to move the way he does at the size he does. So, I know I should be excited about Romeo, and hopefully Christian Watson can be awesome. Big Zach Tom fan, and I think Quay is going to be great. But the guy I'm rooting for the most, that I if I could just pick anybody to blow up, I think it's going to be Devontae Wyatt.
Yeah, dude. And the thing with those guys, like on the defensive side, is like the guys that are already there, that have been there.
Yeah.
Preston Smith, Kenny Clark, like Rashawn Gary, like all Jair, even like back there. Like there's some leadership out there. Like there's some guys at every position. It doesn't matter like what position you are, that you're going to be in a room with, and that's going to make you better. Like, yeah.